Today was a big day in the state of Karnataka, and the Gruha Lakshmi scheme that was launched, it comes at a huge cost to the state exchequer. And earlier we have seen that because of the promises or the freebies, as the BJP calls them, that have been implemented in the state, it has come to the cost of development, quote unquote. The government is on record to say that various development projects are likely to be affected because we have implemented these schemes. Is it good politics and bad economics for the state?
Anusha, first off, these schemes, as BJP likes to call it, revdi, freebies, I would want everyone to understand that these schemes are for the people, the very people standing last in the row in this country, who need this assistance to sustain, to grow, to evolve. Then, if BJP likes to call it freebie, revdi, and whatnot, I want to ask a few questions. First, why do they offer freebies? Why did Smriti Irani go and chant 13 rupees kilo shakkar pav when she was campaigning for elections? Why does Modi ji himself go and flag off several schemes? Why is it revdi for poor people and that big revda for Adani and other big corporates, that lakhs of crores of rupees loans were waived off? Why is that revda not in question? Then why do they not let us fail if freebies are for the bad? They stall our schemes in Karnataka by halting the supplies of rice when we announce Annabhagya for the people of Karnataka.
Yeah.
So they should let us fail and then tell the world that look, this party failed, this government failed.
Is it sheer political convenience or opportunism that defines what is revdi and what is welfare? Because various similar schemes have been announced in a state like Madhya Pradesh as well, which is my home state. And even there, a lot of freebies are being doled out, which the government claims are welfare schemes. So where is the line and how does one really decide that?
First, let's talk about the LPG gas cylinders. You know, whenever people talked about Ujjwala, they always said, but oh, a gas cylinder costs more. Now, what has Hardeep Puri said? He has said clearly that 200 rupees would be reduced. What happens when that money is reduced? That directly impacts every citizen. Nobody is viewing where a gas cylinder is it in Karnataka, is it in Madhya Pradesh, where it is. Ujjwala is a welfare scheme which percolates down to the not just the health of a woman, but also the existence of the chula, which is the house. You talk about schemes like Gruha Lakshmi. If this is not poll bound and poll kind of a lollipop where you're giving freebie subsidies, SOPs, you're giving 2,000 rupees and the cost is 30,000 crores per year. Does the Karnataka government really have this money to give? You talk about Ladli Behna. I want to contradict what a lot of people have said, because this is for underprivileged women. This directly percolates down to the poorest of poor. Now, if you look at the welfare schemes of Prime Minister Modi, whether it is Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, whether it is an Ayushman Bharat, a Jan Dhan Yojana, Mudra Banking, the list is endless, because we have over 740 schemes which percolate down as central schemes to every single state. This is to empower the downtrodden. If you're going to only have, like what Mr. Arvind Kejriwal did, which is give free electricity, free this, free that, you are getting people to be parasites. We want to empower people, and how do you empower people? You can only empower them. Let me first, sir, I didn't interrupt, I didn't interject even once.
No, one at a time. Let ShainaNC finish her argument, then I have to bring the two other gentlemen into the discussion. 30 seconds to you, Shaina ji.
Anusha, what one has seen in Karnataka is nothing but a glorified bribe. You have people and political power in the south where they've distributed from phones to, all kinds of electronics.
But there are various schemes in Madhya Pradesh as well that have been started. There was allowances that were given to women in the state of Madhya Pradesh as a Rakhi gift by the Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister.
No. A welfare scheme which works throughout year after year and is only improvised to cater to every single state and every citizen is something that has to be viewed as a progressive step. In a state which is poll bound and where you are giving
I have to bring in other guests also into the discussion. Mr. B.S. Arun, Mr. Santosh Mehrotra.
Okay, go ahead.
Is there really a standard to decide what is a welfare scheme / what is revdi, what is really required and necessary, and what is a mere political gimmick? I'll ask Mr. B.S. Arun to make his comments first.
Very good. And I
Well, first of all,
congratulate.
it's
Mr. B.S. Arun, can I have you? And then I'll go to Mr. Santosh Mehrotra.
first of all, the Karnataka schemes were announced at the time of elections, and so are the Madhya Pradesh, schemes. I think the Chief Minister announced just about 3-4 days back one more scheme, and all these are definitely aimed at the incoming elections. But then, there is a difference in the sense that it is not color TV sets or free telephones that are distributed, which can be called revdis. But these are schemes which are aimed at empowerment and welfare, which are going to go a long way in changing the spending patterns of the different families, especially those below the poverty line. In Karnataka, we have seen, I think that it has drawn a good reaction from various beneficiaries across gender or the age limits. So I think when a government implements this, and it's going to go a long way. But what is worrying is that the kind of impact it may have on the state exchequer, because in Karnataka, this year, state government has said it won't give the local area development fund for the MLAs. Although
So the development is directly impacted, and that's the key point I was coming to. That how do you really draw the line, Mr. Mehrotra? I'm sorry, you were interrupted. You were making a point, but I reiterate the moot question here that political parties, depending on their convenience, can call it revdi or a welfare scheme. But are there real parameters that exist in the world of economics or in the world of finance to understand that what is really required? I remember this debate had once reached the Supreme Court. And the apex court said that, look, in law and in constitution, there is nothing that the courts can do. And there is no definition that exists that defines what a welfare scheme really is. I'll come to you, ShainaNC. Let Mr. Mehrotra make his arguments. I'll come back to you and give you the closing comments. Mr. Mehrotra, please go ahead.
Thank you.
Anusha, I think you deserve to be congratulated by raising the foundational question of at what cost are these offerings being made to the population, whether it is by one party's government or the other party's government. The fact of the matter is that you pointed to at the cost of development or not. So let's just look at the cost to development. Because the central government has actually increased its handouts rather significantly over the last 8 or 9 years. Despite the fact that the health expenditure to GDP in the country is one of the lowest in the world, it has under this government gone from 1.11% of GDP to merely 1.3% of GDP, despite the central government actually announcing a national health policy in 2017, where it is promised that by 2025, the government's health expenditure, state and center taken together, will be 2.5% of GDP. So in other words, even during COVID, it has not gone up despite this is point one.
Yeah.
And a similar thing can be pointed out about education. Education expenditure in this country has, for the last 8 or 9 years, not gone up beyond 2.9% of GDP. At least sort of 15 years ago, it used to be in the region of 4% of GDP. 4% of GDP. So there is a real issue.
Mr.